Hare Krishna. God we cannot be, but godly we can be. When some people new to the spiritual path first understand the concept of an eternal spirit, eternal indestructible spirit, then they become so impressed, so enamored, so captivated by the idea of spirit that they ascribe omnipotence to it, and they think of all of spirit as God without understanding the diversity within spiritual reality. So for example, if a person is habituated to living in dark and then suddenly sees a very strong flash of light, white light, then that flash of white light is so blinding that the person just sees the light everywhere and doesn't see the objects that are illumined by that light. Similarly, when people who are habituated to living in the darkness of material consciousness get an opportunity to understand spiritual reality, then the luminous spiritual reality so dazzles them that they only sense spirit everywhere and they don't sense the variety within the spiritual reality. So now the Bhagavad-gita points out to the difference between points out to this variety within spiritual reality in 15.7. Mamaivaamsho jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatanaha manah shasthani indriyani prakritisthani karishyati. Mamaivaamsho jiva loke. Mama amsha, Krishna is saying my parts. Jiva loke, the living entities. Jiva bhutah sanatanaha, they're eternally my parts. Manaha shasthani indriyani. Manaha shasthani, the mind and the senses, six senses, indriyani, prakritisthani karishyati. So, with the six senses, which includes the mind, the living entity is struggling in material existence. So, the relevant part for us here is Mamaivaamsho, that we are the parts of Krishna. Jiva loke, jiva bhutah sanatanaha, sanatanaha, we are his eternal parts. Now, what does this verse signify? Two things. It signifies, it very clearly underscores that we cannot be God because we are sadatana, eternally Krishna's parts. We are eternally his parts, and the part cannot become the whole because it's said here sanatana. Now at the same time we are parts of Krishna, and being parts of Krishna, that means qualitatively we are similar to him. We are he Satchitananda is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, and we are also Satchitananda, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, and he is God. The word very God is related with the word good. He is all good. And similarly, we are also at our core godly. We are meant to love and serve God. And by that by the connection of our consciousness with God through love and service, our godliness becomes manifested. So when the part falls away from the whole, then the part gets covered by illusion. The part becomes useless. It loses its potency, just like a screw which is at its place in a machine has its utility, has its great value. But when the screw just falls on the ground, often it becomes worthless and is swept away. So like that, when we become disconnected from Krishna, then we lose our godliness. Not that in the sense that it goes away from us, but it becomes covered. It becomes covered, and therefore we can't see the inherent spirituality that is there within our inherent spirituality, our inherent innate godliness as parts of God. But the more we practice bhakti, we connect ourselves with Krishna, then the coverings that are there on us, they start going away. And the more we start manifesting divine qualities, we become godly. So when we go away from God, then as this verse states, that manashasthani indriyani prakritisthani karishyati, we are bound, we are dragged here and there by the senses and the mind, and we suffer. But when we reconnect with God as His parts, we connect with Krishna, then we become happy, we become joyful. And such joyfulness is a natural result of our living according to our godliness. Godliness doesn't mean godhood, we don't become God, but as His parts, as being connected with Him, we start manifesting godly qualities. And in that godliness, which is in connection with God, we can experience the supreme happiness and we can share the supreme happiness. When we love and serve God, because Krishna is all attractive, in loving and serving Him, we experience supreme happiness. And when we share that joy with others, by sharing the glories of Krishna with others, then we become not only the receivers of the supreme happiness, but also the radiators, the sharers of that supreme happiness. And in that way, our godliness is perfect for us to go towards eternal destination, and also to help others go towards eternal destination. Thank you. Hare Krishna.